and welcome to a new episode of the Computomics podcast. Our guest today is head of the Institute of Environmental Biotechnology at Graz University of Technology in Austria and head of the Department of Microbiome Biotechnology at the Leibniz Institute for Agricultural Engineering and Bioeconomy. Welcome to the podcast, Gabriele Berg.
Nice to meet you, Anna.
It's very nice to meet you too, Gabriele. And as you know, we love to start with a little icebreaker here. And a little birdie told me you're a passionate swimmer and you even go for a swim sometimes before conferences. So I was wondering, what was your most memorable conference swimming experience?
The most memorable. So I really like to do that, and I'm always looking for a swimming pool or opportunity to swim in a lake. And I think in Egypt we had a very nice one. So because we have to go to another hotel, so we have to organize that.
Right.
But it's very good for relaxing and also thinking about all the stuff you have during the day. I'm preparing my talks then during that.
So you'd say you'd recommend it to other people?
Yes, I would like to do so. But everyone has something else. So jogging or running or hiking.
That's true.
Which I also love to do.
I love how active you are. You can already tell like it's coming across all of that energy. But let's actually go into what you prepare for such a conference or your actual research, your actual topic. What is the focus of your research at ATB and the TU Graz?
So I'm a microbiome researcher. That means we are studying microbial communities from different places. So originally we focused on plants, but now we are also working especially on connections. So how is a plant microbiome connected to soil, to the human gut, to the air, to the built environment? This is the focus at the moment. And the main target is then health. So the health of the organisms, of the ecosystem, as well of our planet.
So what would you say is the vision of your research or the goal? I mean, we kind of understand the topic, but what would you like to achieve with your research?
Yes, so by studying the microbiome, we now have really the opportunity to understand One Health and planetary health. I mean, the microbial diversity is at the end the health insurance system for our planet, but also for our health. And we don't know that for a long time. Therefore, we have to discover a lot. We have to discover the biomarkers which are responsible for health, the functions which are important, the interplay between the microbes. There are so many things to discover, and my vision is to do that really for the health of our Earth.
And how would you describe it sounds like you need a pretty systemic approach to even grasp such a complex subject with that many playing fields. Can you go into a little more details, maybe from your day-to-day research?
This is indeed very, very difficult. I mean, I studied ecology, and from this time, I already know that it's challenging to be an ecologist because you have to put together everything.
Right.
Of course, you can do a designed experiment under controlled conditions, and you can interpret results. But to understand the ecological background, you have to go out in the field and you have to combine different experiments at different scales. And also you have to use different methods, which makes it even more challenging. And at the end, you are sitting there with a lot of results and you have to puzzle them together. But it's really challenging. And you are also aware that you never have all of the results you want to have. And sometimes, of course, also the methods yielded in other results. They don't fit together. So, and then you have really to assess them, see what can be right, which you have to select what is a methodological background or mistake for that. So
Interesting.
this is the daily life, yes.
The daily life you lead. Is there, do you maybe have one in mind at the moment where you were surprised of the result or have come to an interesting conclusion? I know these are long running studies, but.
Now, at the moment, we are really working on the connection of the edible microbiome. So, what means the edible part of plants, and what are they doing with our gut microbiome, or if they can establish, or if they are transponder, doing something good for our health. So, this is at the moment the challenge we have.
That makes me think of one popular project that you worked on, which was called An Apple a Day. Can you take us to that project? What was it, the purpose of it? What was it about?
This was a project which was really unique because it was specifically designed for children. So we want to transport the paradigm shift of microbiome research so that one organism is standing always for disease, and now the microbiome is going to health.
Right.
And also that, of course, everyone is a holobiont. We want to transport that to the younger generation. And we thought an apple would be perfect because it's a symbol for many things, even in the old fairy tales. And then we studied different apples and put the results together. And for this project, it was also funded. We need funding for each of the projects.
Of course.
It was required at the end also to publish the results. So there were older pupils and they had to learn that we have to do that. And then we put that small story together that each apple harbors 100 billion bacteria. And so at the end, until now, it's the publication which received most of the attention from the public in our work.
Interesting. So how did that reaction take shape? Did you get actual input from individuals or was it more about the media attention?
It was about the media, but also a lot of personal interaction. So a lot of emails and also phone calls, but also people asked me about that study. So it's, I think, at different levels. But it was more the public than the scientists.
So that speaks to the fact that what you did, the research you did within that project actually crossed the bridge, right? You actually managed to get those results across.
Yes.
So first, for those who have not yet heard, how would you summarize the results? Like if there are people out there listening to our podcast right now thinking, ooh, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. I've heard that before. What can they learn from this project?
Yeah, the main message is that each apple contains 100 billion of bacteria. So independent of the cultivar or the management. We compared here also apples from conventional and from organic agriculture, and the composition was completely different. Also, later on, our results confirmed that, so that there's really difference in the composition, but not in the abundance. And another fact, which was also surprising, is you would expect that a lot of the microbes are sitting on the surface. I mean, we are washing and cleaning apples and so on, and peeling them, but this is not the case. The majority is really sitting in the pulp.
Oh,
and also in the seeds then inside. And we visualized also the bacteria, because sometimes you have to convince yourself about these incredible numbers. And we could really find that the pulp is highly colonized by microbes.
Wow, I've learned something new as well, because I am very sure my mother always told me, don't peel the apple. The best part is actually on the peel or just beneath the peel. So there may be a little bit of myth busting going on there as well.
Yeah, but no. I think that maybe they are sitting also below the peel, but they are not sitting outside.
Got you.
I would really recommend to eat the whole apple, because it's also not only the microbes, it's also the fibers and the vitamins. So you have considered the whole part.
I'll take both your research and my mom's advice then in that case. I love how you described how it got through to people. And you have another project that is about, in a way, communicating research or research results, the Tiny Biome Tales.
Yes.
What are the Tiny Biome Tales?
This is a computer game. So about the microbiome. And 3 years before, we won a project on so-called excellent MOOC. So MOOC is open access online tool. So, and you can learn something about the microbiome and health. So it's public available, and we can also take it in the show notes. At the end, you get a certificate. One part of the MOOC is also the game. And here you can start with your birth, and then you can do different things, and then you learn something about your microbiome, how you can influence your microbiome yourself. Because I mean, these are your colleagues, they are there for your whole life, and you have to feel well with them. So, and yeah, you can always start again. And the novel thing is that it's the first game that it's really designed like a scientific review. So it's not only that we tell you the story that if you eat or if you drink a Coke, it's different than a glass of water or a glass of beer. So everything is really underlined with literature and references. And you can go in, read them, read the most important fact, and learn a lot of things. So, and we have prepared that game together with Johanna Pirker, and she is really famous in this scientific gaming.
And how did that work come about? Like, how did you combine your scientific knowledge, the results, with the gamification, the game design? Because maybe we can inspire some more scientists out there to try something like this.
Johanna and me, we met together. So she was my mentee. I was her mentor in a leading women program of TU Graz. So, but it was never like that. So we are on the same level, although I'm, of course, older than she is. So, and then immediately we start to think about doing something together. And then we come out with that idea, and also to integrate it in the MOOC. But of course, everyone can play it as you want to do.
So I'm just trying to think if there's some takeaways that you can think of if other researchers or people who work in this field would like to be more successful in impacting the general public and reaching them with their research results. I'm sure not everyone will be able to do a game, but maybe what are some takeaways that you can take from both that game and other projects where you could say, hey, this really worked. This really worked for us. Maybe it will work for you too.
I mean, with the game, this was really a unique experience. And so what I learned is that it's very difficult to prepare such a game. So and these are completely different fields. I mean, the MOOC, we were able to prepare ourselves. So we could learn it, we could do it, and we have done everything ourselves with the help, of course, of our IT department here at the university. So they helped a lot. So, but the game, so you need completely different skills, and you really have to work together and discuss a lot of things. But at the moment, it seems that it gets a lot of attention and hopefully more. So I would like to wish that we could continue that. So because they are highly flexible, and whenever new results coming out, and there are at the moment a lot, we could integrate that into the game. So, and there are also a lot of suggestions. For example, include aging more, or what you could do as anti-aging for your microbiome. Or
these are suggestions from the audience, you mean, or from people who are playing the game? I love that. You said you just said there are at the moment quite a few results that have the potential to become more Tiny Biome Tales or be integrated into the Tiny Biome Tales. Can you share some of them with us?
Yeah, there are permanently a lot of new results coming out from microbiome research. At the moment, we are learning a lot about the drivers, so the viruses and all the mobile genetic elements. And it's also a lot of communication within the microbiota. So, and this is not yet understood. So what they are doing and who is really the main driver in which community and those things. So there are a lot of discoveries still waiting.
Of course. But that's quite the challenge too, if you have to revise then. If you have like a theory and you go off of that and then it changes, so you have to actually change the game mechanics as well. Or at least that's how I imagine it would go.
Yeah, maybe. But I mean, we have to be open for this. And I think those results which are integrated, for example, about the natural birth or cesarean section, or some about food or physical activity or those things, they will not change. I mean, we will get more mechanistic insights, but they will not completely change. But other stuff could be, or could integrate it much more about food and fermented food. And so there are a lot of new things coming out.
Now you got me curious again about the actual detail, the cesarean. Like, can you take that example? What knowledge is included or shown in the game design? How does a natural birth versus cesarean influence the microbiome, the individual microbiome?
The natural birth is also better for the microbiome because during the delivery you get the maternal microbiome. But of course, the cesarean section can save life of the babies and the mother.
Of course.
But if you can decide, so it's better to take the natural birth. And sometimes nowadays it is a decision or question of money or safety or whatever.
Of course. So that's one of the many little factors that play into the Tiny Biome Tales as well. So I really want to play that game now. Play it. Where can our listeners find this game?
It's in the internet available. So there's a link and you can click on and then you can start gaming.
That's a good news because, of course, we will include that link in our show notes. So everyone who's listening can just drop by computomics.com and follow the link there. What do you see the outlook for your work with regards to research versus these kind of projects that, as you said, take a lot of work? There are a lot of preparation and talking to people from different fields to, for example, make that game a reality. Do you plan to do more public engagement, science communication as part of your research?
This is normally what we are doing afterwards. So I'm more focused really on the research questions. And at the moment, what we realize, of course, everyone can do something for your health. But a lot started already in the field. You have to buy that food which is available in the supermarket or on the market. And then we realized that we have really improved soil health a lot so that we also can produce healthy food. So due to the fact that everything is connected, we have to consider that for our food. And it's already 60% of the European soils are sick. So at the end, you don't have a choice. Therefore, we have a huge focus also on soil health at the moment.
Can you give us an outlook, maybe as a final outlook also for this episode? What is the project you're tackling with soil health at the moment? Like, what studies are you doing right now? What are they targeted at?
Yes, here we are combining really traditional and highly innovative methods to focus on soil health. So what we learned is that humus is like the fibers for our gut. This is humus for soil. So we are studying the mode of action, how it interacts with microbial diversity. We try to bring as much as microbial diversity back to the soils and really try to restore them.
We'll be curious to learn more, maybe in a year or 2 years' time, if you'd like to come back and tell us more about it. Is there anything else you'd like to point people to as the final part of this podcast, to check out your work or colleagues' work, projects you find especially interesting to follow?
Yeah, it's maybe, we have also a society. This is a ISME Society, International Society for Microbial Ecology. So they also published a lot of these results. And yeah, social media, of course, it's also interesting to follow and to read the new results about microbiome research.
We'll make sure to link those in the show notes as well. For now, Gabriele, thank you so much for dropping by, giving us some insight into your research and those pretty unique public engagement tools that you've helped create with the Tiny Biome Tales. And we look forward to learning more.
Thank you very much. It was really a pleasure to talk with you, Anna.
Thank you for listening in today. Want to learn more? Then check out our show notes and more info on computomics.com. If you have questions or want to propose a next guest, please reach out to us at podcast@computomics.com.